going to do today is we are going to add integers. Now, some of you are thinking, Mrs. Homan, this is easy. Some of you are thinking, ooh, I don't like this. I don't care what you're thinking. Whatever you're thinking, you are not going to work ahead of me. You are not going to assume that you know it so well that you're just going to go through the examples before I talk about them. You're going to do the homework before I give it to you. No, do not do that. Okay? Adding integers is one of those things. You're either good at it or you think you're good at it and you're not. Or you know you're not good at it, or whatever it is. I am going to give you a couple different ways for you to visualize this. If you just start doing the work, you're going to make the same mistakes you made last year. Okay, for some of you, maybe you're not going to make those mistakes. But for some of you, if it was, I didn't do so hot on this section, if you don't listen and if you do not engage in this lesson, you're going to make the same mistakes you did last year. So I need you to participate, okay? What we're going to do, you have a cup of chips, okay? I don't want to hear them jingling quite yet. I have 6 colors of chips, but at every table in your cup, there's only 2 colors, okay? So there's either blue and red, yellow and purple, or orange and green. Okay? Back to art class. We have cool colors and warm colors. The cool colors are going to represent positive numbers, and the warm colors are going to represent negative numbers. We are going to do some work in our partner sets. So those of you who have 4 people at a table, what I'd like you to do is I would like you to take your chips and break it into 2 piles of each color, because each partner set is going to need both colors. Okay, so I'm going to give you about a minute to do that. If it's just 2 of you, just dump out the chips in front of you. Liam, do you remember when I said that the marker boards are not for coloring? Put the cap back on.
I was going to see if I
I know, but those markers I bought with my own money, and you're wasting it. Okay, we're going to just use math for them. It doesn't have to be like an exact even pile, but just make it look pretty good. Okay? I'm going to fill my water while we do this. Okay, so these represent numbers, positives and negatives. Do you know which color is positive, which color is negative? Figure it out real quick. Look at this up here. Green positive, orange negative. Blue positive, red negative. Purple positive, yellow negative. Okay? Can you please organize your chips to look like this? We have 4, so my picture is 5 green and 3 orange. Purple, yellow, blue, red, whatever it is. Please organize your chips to look like this. Okay, now let's talk about what this means. Okay, so this is an addition problem. What does this mean right here? This means 5 plus, what does this mean? -3. Okay, everybody, will you please write this problem on your whiteboard? Don't answer it, just write the problem down. You can think about what the answer is, that's fine. Do we have like a piece of a yellow chip? That's sad. Okay, now let's talk about what happens when we have 1 plus -1. What's 1 plus negative 1? Ah, 1 plus negative 1 is 0. So if we have a positive 1 and a negative 1, what's going to happen? They cancel out. They add up to be 0. Okay? So go back to your chips. This is what you have in front of you, right? 5 plus negative 3. Okay, so do we have some chips that are going to cancel each other out? Okay, so what I want you to do, these cancel each other out. So move these off, move these 2 off, move these 2 off. What are you left in front of you? 2 positives or 2 negatives? 2 positives. So our answer is a positive 2. Okay. The visualization of this is something that I really want us to take the time to focus on so that when we get to problems that are tougher, we can use this in our heads, okay? All right, can you set this one up for me, please? Set this up using your chips. Okay, so on our whiteboards, let's write what this problem is. How many positives do we have?
4.
We have 4 positives plus negative 6. We have 6 negative chips. Okay? So I want you to physically use your fingers. These 2 chips, move them off. 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 Those are canceling each other out. So now we are left with 2, what kind of chips? So our answer to this problem is negative 2. Okay. Set this one up. Okay, so what addition problem, let's write it on our whiteboards. What addition problem is this? What number is this? Negative 3 plus this is negative 4. Okay. Do we have any positive and negative chips that are canceling each other out? No, we don't. We have negative 3 chips. We have 4 negative chips. So in total, how many negative chips do we have? 7. So our answer is going to be negative 7. We don't have anything canceling out. We have negative chips plus negative chips. So now we have a total of 7 negative chips. Okay. So if we have positives and negatives being added together, you're going to get things to cancel out. If we have positives plus positives, you just have a bunch of positives. If you have negative plus negative, you just have a bunch of negative chips. So it's going to change the way you approach the problem. Okay? Now what I'm going to have you do, I'm going to have you and your partner work together on some problems. So I want you to listen to me. You're going to do this 2 times per partner. Okay? So partner number 1 is going to use the chips and create a problem. Partner number 2 is going to write the problem on the whiteboard, give an answer, and partner 1 will check their answer. You're going to do that 2 times, and then you're going to switch. Where now partner 2 is coming up with the chip problem. Partner 1 is writing down and answering. Do you have any questions about what my expectation is?
No.
Okay, decide who is creating the chip problem first. Go twice and then switch roles. It is not anything like air hockey.
It's like air. Bro. What are you guys doing?
Okay, so are you creating a problem for her? Yep, you do that? Okay. So use your chips, create a problem for her. Write down any
You're
item.
the one who gave me the
Yeah. And we had 9 blues.
Okay, partner 1 is creating the problem. Partner 2 is writing down and answering. Oh, you can't get a head start. Is that what's happening here? You're hiding it from me?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. You're supposed to put the positive on top.
Alright, who's doing the problem? Okay.
There you go.
Right. Yeah. Just make it on our way. Well, you have to. 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 I'm not yelling.
2.
I'm not yelling. I'm not yelling. There you go. Outside.
Good job.
Actually, no. No, you already said. You already said.
I have my own whiteboard. Just go. You're special. Set. I know. Oh, what?
Landed. Can you give us some marker back?
Just do your work.
Just know that there's 9 blues. Purple. Alright. Okay, do this. Take it. Look, it's purple.
You took one away.
Actually, yes, no. Oh, sorry, it's purple.
That's not even. Yes, it is. It's -1.
Wait, what was it?
It's -1.
9 plus -1.
Oh, okay. Then go ahead. Oh. That's 3.
Okay, I did it. Zebras probably take 1 minute.
Oh.
Stop that, huh?
Oh.
This, I get all the problem space, okay? I'm gonna use all the chips.
Okay, I will know you are done because your whiteboards and markers will be put away. Keep your chips out, but you're done if your whiteboards and markers are put away. Why are we slamming?
It was like
Don't put the chips away. Keep the chips out. Wrong one.
Ooh. Am I noticing that everybody's done?
Why are
Okay.
you hugging me?
All right, so what I'm going to have you do in your packet, could you please turn to the top of page 4? And it looks like this. Okay, remember, I don't care how painfully slow you think that I'm going. Do not work ahead. Okay? All right, now, if we're talking about adding numbers, we can use our chips or we can think about our number line. Adding means we are going to move forward on our number line. Okay? Okay, so let's talk about this -3 plus 8. Okay, with our chips, we would have 8 positive chips and 3 negative chips. And would we have anything cancel out? We would have them cancel out until we have 5 positive chips left. Okay, now another way to view this, and you can draw a number line or you can look at this number line up here. Okay, I'm not tall enough, I need this pointer so you can see. So here's -3. If we're going to add 8, then I'm going to move forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and now I've ended at 5. So there's our answer. Okay, so for some of you, the chips are easy to visualize. For some of you, the number line is an easy visualization. You think about what works for you. Okay? All right, example number 1, 1 plus 8. I'm not going to talk about it much. We're just going to put that the answer is 9 and move forward. We were doing that in first grade. Okay? Now, -11 plus 9. You have 2 ways to think about that. You could think about 11 negative chips and 9 positive chips. Just answer the question, are you going to get any to cancel out? Yes, because we have positives and negatives. Or we can think about, okay, here's -11. I'm going to move forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Where did we end up? We ended up at -2 on our number line. Or if we did our chips, we would have 2 negative chips left over. Okay. All right, I would like you and your elbow partner to talk through and write answers down for these 4. Ready, set, go.
What's some? What's this then? Some positive. I don't know. So the answer would be in this column. It's a type of sum. A type of sum.
You never know. They got to keep you on your toes, right? Huh? What? All right, Matthew, tell me about -2 plus 6. It equals 4. Do you agree with Matthew? Okay, Matthew, can you tell me, did you think about chips or did you think about the number line? The number line? Okay. So here we are at -2, and we go forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We land at 4. Okay. -7 plus 7. I like this one. Temperance, what is it? It's 0. Okay? We have 7 negative chips and 7 positive chips. Boom. They all cancel out. We're left with 0. That's a nice problem. Okay? Landon with an O. Negative 21 plus 3. Negative 18. What visualization did you use to help you with that one? The number line. Here's negative 21. I'm going to move forward 1, 2, 3 to negative 18. Okay? Negative 9 plus 13. Sammy, what you got? 4. Did you think about chips or did you think about the number line? Chips. We have 9 negative chips. We have 13 positive chips. We pair them up to cancel out, and we have 4 positive chips left over. Okay. All right. What I want you to do is I want you to turn to the top of page 5. And at the top of page 5 is not this. This is like the middle of page 5. Okay? Now, there's some things that we're not going to talk about. Okay? We're going to come back to page 5 on Friday. But the middle of page 5, like today, we're going to focus on these right here. Okay? Now, something that we did not see on the previous page, notice how we kept adding a positive number. That second number was always positive. Well, what's going to happen when we add a negative number? So for those of you who like visualizing the number line, what does it mean if we have 2 plus negative 6? Here's 2. If I move forward for adding, what happens when we add a negative number? Okay, negative means we got to go the reverse direction. So here's 2. If I'm adding negative 6, we're going to go backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where do we end up? We end up at negative 4. Okay? Now, for those of you who like chips, right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negative chips and 2 positive chips. So we can see that these cancel and we're left with 4 negative chips. Okay? But I wanted to make sure you understood how that works on the number line. Okay? Let's look at 14. At 14, we're at negative 7 and we're going to add negative 1. Well, since we're adding a negative number, we're going to go back, and we're going to land at negative 8. Okay. All right, I want you and your elbow partner to talk through those 4 that I highlighted. Come up with an answer for me, and we're going to talk about some patterns that we see. Right here. Okay. If you need to physically use the chips, you go for it. If you need to look at the number line, it is right there for you. People will just think you're looking at the clock to see what time it is. All right, Kaylee. Right, Kaylee? I didn't make that up. Okay. You looked at me like, what? I want to know what you have for number 15. Okay, let's visualize this. We have negative 20. Negative chips. Added to negative 5 negative chips. Do we have any that cancel out, Kaylee? They cancel out? Do we have any that cancel out? No. We don't. So how many negative chips do we have? have 25 negative chips. But these mistakes are how we learn. You are not the only person who put negative 15. Okay? We have 20 negative chips added to 5 negative chips. So we have a puddle of 25 negative chips. Okay? Let's talk about number 16. Claire, what do you have for 16? Ooh, that's fun. 16. Here we are at 18. And if we're adding negative 2, we got to go backwards 2. Okay? We have 18 positive chips and 2 negative chips. So 2 of them cancel out. We have 16 left. Okay? How about number 17? Landon with an I. What do we have for number 17? Negative 29. Here again, we have 15. That's not 15, but that's 15 negative chips and 14 negative chips. So we have a total of 29 negative chips. Okay? All right, Shannon, what about number 18?
I got negative 6.
Negative 6. Okay, good. Now, I want you to look at these problems up here. And do you notice any patterns? Or like, do you have any observations about negatives, positives, negatives? Any observations? So visualization is going to help. We can't just like wing it. We got to think about, do we have negatives and positives? So let's think about this. I want you to look at these two right here. Do you notice how we're adding 2 numbers that are negative? We're adding 2 numbers that are negative. So did any chips cancel out? No. I want you to think about if I asked you like 10 plus 5, what would that equal?
15.
15. If we're adding 2 positive numbers, or if we're adding 2 negative numbers, if our signs are the same, we are not getting anything to cancel. We just have a bigger pile of chips. So we're adding that pile of chips together for more chips. So we have 20 plus 5 chips that are negative. We have 15 plus 14 chips that are negative. Okay? Well, then what happens if we have signs that are different? Okay? When we have signs that are different, we have chips that cancel out. And so Kaylee is noticing that like, oh, you can subtract those numbers. Okay? And then how do you know if it's going to be positive or negative?
Depending upon which one's bigger.
Okay, here 18 was bigger, so our answer was positive. Here 7 was bigger, so our answer was negative. Okay? You can think about those things, but if you're struggling, think about the chips. Think about the number line. Okay? I want you to go back to page 4. Go back to page 4. It looks like this. Okay? I want to show you how I want to fill out this chart. Some teacher made this chart. I think it's actually from our textbook. I don't want to use it the way that it was intended to be used. This is what I want you to do. Okay? When it says type of sum, I just want you to tell me, are the signs the same? Because here it's negative plus a negative. Or are the signs different? If you want to just put DIFF, are you okay? Yeah. Whew. Okay. Because here we have negative plus a positive. Okay. You're really kind of stuck there, buddy. There we go. Okay. Maybe L4 would be a good idea, huh? Okay. Here, we can fix the table. Okay. I don't really care what you don't need to put anything here. But here's where I want you to put the answer. So what is negative 4 plus negative 3? Negative 7. So our answer is going to be negative. Since it's negative plus negative, our answer is still negative. Okay. And then what about for this one? Negative 3 plus 2, our answer would be negative 1. Okay. In the 3 minutes that we have left, I want you to finish the rest of the page.